Strings are just pieces of text data treated as a unit. Strings are everywhere, from labels, text boxes, to command button captions. String variables are declared using dim statement and string variable data type. Just like numerical variables, they can be initialized as part of a dim statement or separately in the code. String literal is any piece of text data enclosed in double quotes. And although string variables can be initialized by assigning them to a string literal, they are most often assigned directly to the contents of text boxes as shown at the bottom of the slide. Concatenation operator ampersand is often used to put together two or more string literals and variables, or to cobble up together a desired piece of text like a message to the program user. Let's switch back to VB and declare two string variables, last name and first name, and initialize them at the same time. Dim last name as string equals Smith, comma, first name as string equals John, and then another string variable, dim full name as string. To create the full name by concatenating the last name and the first name, we're going to use a concatenation of or ampersand operator as follows. Full name equals last name, and that's the concatenation operator, a string that consists of a comma and a space, and then adding another string which is the first name. Entering or assigning the content of full name variable to txt payment.text, although obviously this has nothing to do with the payment, will allow us to show the result of Smith, comma, space, John. Next, we already used and showed how to assign the value of our rate variable by converting the string from txt rate box into a double. Let's repeat that line of code right here under the next slide by typing rate equals c double of txt rate.text. This time, when we run the program, we'll enter a legitimate rate like 2.56 before clicking the calculate button. Since the text box was not left empty, and since the string 2.56 can be converted to a number of type double, we will not get any runtime errors. We also have to assign the rate variable to txt payment.text in order to see this effect. Save and run. Type 2.56 or a similar legitimate rate. Click calculate and observe. You get the desired result. Also, notice that as the program runs, we have assigned the value of 2.6 rate variable to the text box without any kind of conversion. In other words, a double was automatically converted to a string. We could have used the CSTR or convert to string function, which will be required for more complex assignments later on. Make sure to comment out the rate code so we don't get tripped by it later on. And then let's get, after saving, back to the presentation. This slide reviews one of the most widely used string properties, and that is its length. Some of the useful methods are converting the string to all uppercase letters, extracting a substring from a string, and finding the position of a particular character within a string. All will be demonstrated in VB shortly, but before we do that, I wanted to mention the fact that all the variables we've used so far have local scope. That is, they are only valid inside the click event procedure or our calculate button. If we need a variable to have a class level scope so that it can be used in any of the event procedures, we must declare it at the top of the class, right before the first event procedure. We will have an example on this later on when we do our in-class projects. Switching back to VB, and after slide 6 comment, let's display the length of the full name by typing the following code. txt payment.text equal full name.length. Saving and running the code to observe that Smith, comma, space John has 11 characters, including the comma and the space. You've noticed the little different icons for properties, little bracket wrenches, like the one next to the length, and the little pink cubes next to the methods, just like we did before with the text box. A substring method extracts a given number of characters from a certain position. It's also a method. To demonstrate some of these methods, let's start with the toUpper method by typing the following line of code: txtPayment.text equal full name dot toUpper, and click enter. You'll notice that for this method the open close parentheses did not automatically appear as it did for some of our previous methods like focus or close. Save and run the program and verify you get the uppercase Smith, comma, space John as a result of this method. Next, we're going to extract the first 5 characters from the full name, starting with the position 0, which is actually the first position. And we're going to use the following line of code to do that. txtPayment.text is full name dot substring, open parenthesis 0, which means start from the beginning, comma 5, which means take the 5 characters. Save, run, and notice you get only the last name. How do we know where the position of the but where is the position that we have to stop to get only the last name? For the more dynamic way of getting the last name would be to find the position using an index of method of a string variable full name and using a comma as a delimiter. To demonstrate what I'm talking about, let's type the following line of code: txtPayment.text equal full name dot index of, and then in parentheses and in double quotes we type a comma. So if there is a comma in a full name, and we know there is, the index of method will result in a position of that comma within that string, and it should be 5 as we just already indicated. Let's save all the changes, switch back to the presentation.